Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Goicoechea, are these a native animal? Are they a native species?
Mr. Vice Chair, Co-Chair, Vice Chair, excuse me. If by native, no, they are not native. The native species of horse in North America died off hundreds of thousands of years ago. These are an introduced species that we have today.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis, there's an amendment by Mr. Stewart from Utah, which I intend to support. It'll allow for transfer of wild horses within agencies, whether it's federal, state, or local, which evidently is prohibited right now. So if you have 45,000 horses in captivity and you have a capacity of 58,000, how much participation do you expect there will be by other agencies to take these horses off your hands, whether, you know, other federal or state or local agencies that would be willing to do this that haven't already?
Well, we think there'll be some. The Border Patrol, it's my understanding, has we've had about 300 go to the Border Patrol. They use those patrolling those remote areas along the border.
How many?
About 300.
300.
I can tell you that you know, the forest, the Walla-Whitman National Forest in Oregon, where I used to be the forest supervisor, they recently, I think, took 4 Mustangs that they use for packing back in the Eagle Cap Wilderness. 4, I believe it's 4. Actually, when I was supervisor on the forest, we had some that we used for packing into the wilderness. Or essentially our pickup trucks
I have
in the
more
wilderness.
Ford Mustangs than that at home.
4.
Okay, sir. You know, so I mean, as a percentage of the solution here.
Well, I was using those as examples. Is it the total answer to getting to AML? Probably not. But we've talked today and in my testimony about several tools, and we believe that is a combination of those tools.
Okay, well, that'll be a tiny percentage of the combination. So I'm sorry again. Time keeps constraining me here. The solution. Again, we're talking about doubling a population every 4 or 5 years, and we talk about a lot of things. They don't have really any natural predators other than weather and drought. We're also hearing that units up in my district that you're unwilling to accept any more animals, even though you would have supposedly a capacity of 58,000. Why is BLM telling that they will no longer accept more horses in a short or long-term holding area, specifically to the Susanville area of the district?
Well, as I indicated earlier, Congressman, for every horse that we gather and we do not adopt and we put in shorter long-term holding, it's $50,000 to the taxpayer for the life of that horse, And so
my stats show me too that the adoption rate has dropped 73% from 20 years ago. So none of the trends that we're talking about here today show a win. None of them. And so when are we going to have that really tough conversation about something that's going to be more permanent?
Well, again, Congressman, I understand your frustration, and as
well, it's not my frustration, it's the people that live in the area that see the land being devastated, and they see the federal government not doing its job as mandated by the 1971 Act, as well as other things could be brought up if indeed these are on private lands, such as the chairman was saying, animal abuse, the environmental damage by the, if you want to call it damage by the, you know, the hoof type we were talking about earlier. You know, you're not holding up your job, and if I don't do my part on my own private property, someone comes and takes me away. So, how do you feel about that? You're in violation of your own mandate.
I think our goal is to continue to use the tools that we have, to do the research, to develop better fertility control, to develop safe spay-neuter methods. And gather. We believe a combination of those things are what it's going to take as on our roadmap to AML, and it'll take many years and a lot of money.
Mr. Norris, bring it home.
I do believe the solution is going to take more resources. I think what we have to do is find a way to either provide more resources so they can care for more horses in off-range holding facilities, because they are limited by that with their current budgets, or we have to find ways for them to relieve the obligation that they currently have to care for those horses under the law. But as you state, Mr. Vice Chairman, the act is currently not being implemented.
My time's out. If I was to hear you wrong, like Emily Latello, I'd say more racehorses. But that wasn't the answer. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.